little Jeep family here, and it's been a few months I think since I've last posted, and so I during the winter it was kind of dead, not much to do because it was so cold outside and I don't have a heated garage sadly, and so it's finally getting nice outside, a little chilly today, but I just picked up this XJ here, and I can't flip the camera. I don't know how to run this thing. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you can see this. I'm not sure what you're looking at right now, but this is my XJ I just picked up, and so I got it for 600 bucks, and I'm happy with it. My Jeep over here, I put those Humvee tires on it a few months ago, and so I have my old Thornbirds. Figured I'd throw on this Jeep here. I'm probably going to flip this one and just resell it, but it's just a fun little project for me to have here. But nonetheless, I'm working on getting rid of these, or cutting the fenders today. I can't talk, I apologize. And but I'm going to be cutting the fenders on this Jeep, and so I'm going to show you real quick how I do this. I've actually done this on both of my Jeeps, and I don't have the money to go buy the really sweet fenders that everybody has. So with my Jeep, I've actually, the YJ fenders, I completely cut them, and so this is of course if you get up real close you can see it's not perfect, but nonetheless this is all with a 4-inch angle grinder, as you'll see me use in just a minute in the video. And but it's not super sturdy, but nonetheless hopefully my children won't be walking on that anytime, and that's probably the only negative with it, but for the price it is very nice. So at $0 is what that cost me. And then on my wife's Jeep, kind of the same thing. These are the stock TJ fenders, and so I just cut those, same thing with the grinder, and so it gives it kind of that look of almost a custom fender. And so hopefully you don't have a fender law where you live. If you do, that stinks. Thankfully Indiana, doesn't matter. We don't have to have we could have our tires sticking out of the fenders as far as we want with no issues there. So I'll show you what I'm doing here, and then we will get started. Well, it took me about 5 minutes, and I just used regular masking tape. Went ahead and masked off my line that I'm going to go with, and this is exactly what I did with both of my Jeeps, the two Wranglers off in the background. And so I just mask a line off. If you got a curve, you got to do a bunch of small pieces of tape, as you can see here, and that's what's going to get you kind of that curved line there. And then all I'll end up doing once I'm done is just following, not done, but to get started, I got the grinder down there, and I'm just going to follow that little contour there, and as long as you can stay along that line, then you should be good. The masking, luckily for me, my dad worked on many cars growing up, hot rods, and so I learned how to mask off vehicles and for windows and stuff when we'd paint them. And then I painted for many years, so I learned how to mask also doing that. So masking is a little art that I've learned, but still pretty much a little patience, you can learn how to do it and do it quick eventually. So next will be the cutting. So there you go, after 5 or 10 minutes of cutting, and this is very, very rough right now. I still got to go, I'm still a long ways from finishing, but I just pulled the tape off just to kind of show you that line. As long as you follow that line, you should be good. I mean, if you get up real close, you're going to see it's really not too bad, but you're going to have little spots like there, right in the center of the screen there, I can see. And then I actually realized I did a bad mask job, and so there's a little bit of that lip here that's coming out, and but I can always straighten that up. I could even add tape on there again. With pulling back, you can see a little better, but you're gonna have the little jagged edges, and so all I'll do is just come back through with the grinder to get those off, and like what you see there kind of in the middle of the screen, and any of those bad spots there I can get off. It looks like somebody at some point or another, I'm thinking they may have jumped this Jeep, and it's not focusing in, but they had both sides right there. There it goes. Both sides are bent in right there, and so either they're flexing it pretty hard or they jumped it. I'm not sure which one. And so, but the steering was all screwed up, so I but nonetheless, I'm gonna paint in the next couple of days. I don't think I'm really gonna do much work with this. I was cutting right there, my grinding wheel got super small, so I got to add another one in there, get this little piece off. But anyways, yeah, so this side was, I did the cut on that side, kind of worked, still working on the back side there, and then somebody else cut this side, which I'm gonna have to clean up quite a bit, which you can see this was done before I even bought it, but it's definitely not a straight line by any stretch of the imagination. It's kind of a curved line there, and then when you get up close, you got the kind of jagged edges and stuff all over the place. So I'll clean all those up, and then lastly, what I'll do is just take a file and some type of a metal file, and then I smooth the edges out just in case, you know, my children were to run their hands across it or something like that. They're not going to wind up getting themselves cut pretty bad. So it's pretty basic, but that's just how cheap way of cutting the fenders, and that goes the same exact technique goes for that Jeep there. I just masked off the top of that fender, just cut it, and then of course the same with the YJ up there in the front.